There's still places right up front near the altar if anyone wants to sit up here. And chairs also.
Welcome everyone to the evening sit for KCC, and we hope you stay for question and answer also this evening. We're especially happy to see each and every one of you, but also a special welcome to the newbies who are here for the first time, or maybe just the second or third time. We hope you find a good place here to practice with us. Welcome to the people streaming. It's new for us to stream in the evenings, so we hope that's beneficial to you, and we really thank those who make it possible, the volunteers. So tonight we'll do the usual schedule. I'll talk a little bit. Hopefully it's something that's helpful for your meditation time. Then we do calm abiding meditation together. We'll have a kind of 1 minute stretch in the middle of that. But please don't hold yourself rigidly at any time. If you really need to move, just move gently, quietly as you can. But if you need to adjust your posture, that's fine. One helpful thing is right before you adjust your posture to see if you can relax first. Relax the body, relax the mind, relax the urge to move. And sometimes then you find you don't need to. But other times then you become very clear, I need to move. So feel free to do that. So I always like to take a moment and encourage you to do that now, to answer the question of why you're here. There's so many things you could be doing. but you chose to come here. So it's quite good to get that motivation clear. Be honest about it. There's no right or wrong answer. And then we can expand and encourage our motivation by remembering we're interconnected with every other being in the world. Usually we don't feel this. Sometimes we don't even think of it conceptually, but it's true. What we think, what we say, what we do has quite far-reaching effects. So it's good to remember that connection. Even we don't remember it, it's functioning. And sometimes to help my practice of calm abiding, I think of the question of, is this useful to anyone besides myself? If I still my own mind and heart, my emotions, my energy, what does that bring to the world? One of the ways I think about this, especially early on when I was first practicing, I thought about what I felt like when I was around my dad. He was quite a naturally calm person, rather slow-moving, generally patient. And I realized I loved to hang around him as a kid, kind of no matter what he was doing. He was a farmer part of the time when I was growing up, so I would kind of follow him around while he fixed fences or milked cows. And looking back, I realized I didn't really care. I wasn't kind of learning those skills, but I really just wanted to be around that kind of a calm space. So when we create that, then we can see we can become that for others, even strangers on the bus or the person driving the car next to our car. Makes a huge difference if we have that kind of a clear, still mind. One other thing we can do is we can bring to mind someone you would like to have here with you tonight to engage in this practice. I find that quite helpful to juxtapose against the phrase, I'm here for all sentient beings. As far as the limits of space, which has no limits, then it's quite helpful for me to think, oh, I'm also here for my grandkids, or the person who was yelling on the street just as I took a walk about 15 minutes ago. So take a moment to kind of add the moisture of compassion to your practice tonight by bringing to mind some group or individuals you want to be here for, with. Now, to do all this, we are going to need some help to end our own suffering, the suffering of others, to remember our interconnectedness, to expand our bodhicitta, to include every being, even to be kind to just the closest ones around us. Because that's not, for most of us, been our habit up till now. So in order to help us with these practices, we take refuge and set our bodhisattva, bodhicitta motivation. So we need to think for a minute of all the things we generally turn to in a crisis, or on the other end, when we're very happy. And it seems, as I talk to my Dharma friends, my family, we tend to forget our values often in those situations. We get very stirred up and we can't remember where the refuge is. Can't bring it to mind. So this is why in this lineage it's encouraged to remember refuge over and over during the day. You don't have to do a whole prayer, but just what am I relying on right now? Someone recently said, what does refuge mean? I think it was this morning, Eric. And Eric was teaching. And I thought, it's what I rely on, what I return to, what I trust, whether things are going very well, going badly, or just sailing along. What do I turn to over and over? What do I trust? What do I rely on? And then I've already spoken about the bodhicitta, that there's really, it's okay to practice this Buddhism in order to make yourself happy. But we aren't really in any way in that, with that choice, touching on our real capacity, our vast capacity, our true Buddha nature. And so we miss out on tremendous joy, tremendous energy, by setting ourselves just a very narrow kind of motivation. So at this point, let's do our refuge and bodhicitta prayer together.
Until the summit of enlightenment is reached, I and all beings go for refuge to the sources of true refuge. I will now practice the absorption of calm abiding in order to release all beings from their particular suffering and establish them in lasting peace and happiness. Until the summit of enlightenment is reached, I and all beings go for refuge to the sources of true refuge. I will now practice the absorption of calm abiding in order to release all beings from their particular suffering and establish them in lasting peace and happiness. Until the summit of enlightenment is reached, I and all beings go for refuge to the sources of true refuge. I will now practice the absorption of calm abiding in order to release all beings from their particular suffering and establish them in lasting peace and happiness.
So now we don't really have anything to do. Isn't that lovely? Relax your mind, relax your body, relax all the self-talk. We don't have to create an identity, prove anything, be anyone. So there's only one thing to do, and that's to notice. To notice what's going on in your mind. I want to read from a few notes from Lama Michael, recently teaching. These are not exact quotes. They're just my notes of what he said that I found quite helpful. If there's a failure in our meditation, it would be the elaborations, our elaborations, our mental elaborations. These follow the noticing. So first we pick a focus, an object, usually the breath. Then we simply notice when we're not on the object. In general, then we have a habit of elaborating about that, of adding stories, reactions. Oh, I'm off the object again, I've screwed up, or oh, how'd that happen? Or here's one I do. I really like this thing I'm thinking about, so I'm going to think about it some more. And this is a great time to figure this out. So that, in a sense, is a failure in meditation, if there can be such a thing. So the task, if there is a task, it's not really the right word, but the activity, even that's not such a great word. Simply pay attention to your experience. You see that you're off the object, you simply come back to the object, just letting go. No elaboration, no new story, not even one more sentence is needed. And one other thing I've been using lately, when I get caught in a story, is I say, am I willing to let this drop? And that's been quite helpful. So now we'll just engage in this. We'll have a little break in about 15 minutes or 1 minute. And I hope you just enjoy your relaxed time in clarity and awareness. have a stretch if you need. Reset your mind. Relax for a minute.
By this virtue may I quickly realize Mahamudra and establish all beings without exception in this state.
Thank you, everyone. We have a few announcements, and then we'll have tea and talk, and then you can come back with any and all Dharma questions, ideas. We won't limit it to Dharma. That might make you not ask something, since everything can be the path. Announcements, let's see. This next Saturday from 9 to 3 on the 18th, I'll be leading a day of contemplation and meditation and discussion on a mind training text called The 8 Verses of Thought Transformation. It's an amazing, quite short text that slices and dices the crazy self-centered mind, or at least gives the opportunity for that. So if you can join any part of that, that will be good. You can go to our website, kcc.org, and register. It will redirect you to the neon place to register. Then starting on Tuesday evenings all through April, 4 Tuesday evenings in April and 1 the first week of May, Sally and Jeff Allworth, who are longtime Sangha members, are leading quite an amazing class called Care and Feeding of Your Daily Practice. So whether you're a beginner or someone kind of in the middle or been around a long time, this will be quite a good class to help you get started, help you get back going if you've stopped, help you get enthused if you're doing it all the time. So, and they have wonderful methods of just being very right there with what you're doing and encouraging and bringing in all their wisdom from, 15 years of practice.
20, I guess, they
20?
came around.
Yeah, 20 years of
1997.
practice, so they've probably been all over the board of start, go, stop. So that should be quite good. And we have a new building.
Yes.
And Jeff and Bill are two of the people that spend a lot of time there with our fix-up and remodel. Some people may not know that we are leaving this center. What's the outside date? End of May?
First day, June 1st will be in the new one, we hope.
Okay.
We plan.
Yeah,
We need
planning
to
to be in the new
Somehow.
one, June
Or a
1st.
tent next to it.
So pretty much we'll need to be out of here. So that we bought this wonderful church over around 49th and Skidmore, Northeast, and it's having lots of deconstruction and construction go on, and often there's some help needed there. So what else should they know? How to do that, how to join in.
If you have some time, I can see there are half a dozen people here who already
Yay.
taken part in some work there. Thanks to you all. So if you have questions about what's coming up this week, we will be doing some different kinds of things this week. Having plumber and electrician. We're starting to shift gears. So
Cool.
if you have time, let us know. There's always a few hours worth of tidying up to do. Pretty much every day we make at least 2 hours worth of mess to fix.
There's that. So if anyone's interested in getting on that list, you can talk to me at the break.
Okay. Any other announcements? No? Okay, have some tea. Enjoy. Come back for Q&A.